Okay, sorry about that. Cut me off a little bit, but I'm gonna watch the time better this time. So here were the problems. If you needed to pause it again, I'm sorry. Go ahead and do that, and you can try them. Okay, so let's start with this one. So as I was saying in the last video, the 3, 4, 9, 8, 9 goes underneath, and the 321 goes on the outside. Now, I know I put commas when I write the problems, but I don't like to put commas here because sometimes it confuses me, okay? So I'm putting a 321, not into a 3, not into a 4, but a 349. And this one's nice because I can see it goes in once. And I can do 321 and not have to do a bunch of multiplication right now on the side. Okay, so then I subtract 8, 2, and I bring down another 8. Now, there are going to be times like this where you've brought your number down and it does not go into that number. You do not bring another number down. What you do is you say 321 goes into 288 0 times. And you multiply by 0. You subtract. And then you bring down the next number. Okay, so you eventually bring that number down, but you got to get that 0 up in your answer first. Okay, so now we're doing 321 into 2,889. And I'm just going to have to use my number sense and try to guess and get close. And if that involves doing 4 multiplication problems, then that's what I have to do. So here's where my brain's going. 321 times 10 would add a 0 to that 3, so it would be 3,210. So I'm thinking, if I'm really close to 3,200, that maybe multiplying by 9 would get me close to the 2889. So I'm going to try 321 times 9. 9, 18, 27, 28. Oh my gosh. It was spot on. You might not have had it spot on. You might have had it try 7 and 8 and then move up to 9, try 10. Oh, too big, come back. Okay, but this one's spot on. And because it's the exact number, then that's 109. Hopefully you got that one correct. If you didn't, look at my work, look at your work, pause the video, and compare the two and see where you went wrong. Okay, let's look at the next one. So our next problem, let's switch up the color here, is 73, 375 divided by 125. Okay, so I'm not putting a 125 in a 7 or a 3, but I am putting it into a 733. Now, I know 100 times 7 is 700. So 7 is going to be too big of a number. So I'm going to try 5 and then maybe try 6, depending on how this works out. So let's try 5. So 5 times 5 is 25. 10, 11, 12, 5, 6, 25. Now I'm going to try 6 and see if it puts me over. So 0 and 3, 12, 13, 14, 15, 6, 7, 50. So it did put me over. So I want to go with the 5. Now, I'm not going to erase this. Well, I might in a second because I'm on a whiteboard. But on your paper, don't erase this because maybe you need that number later. You just don't know. So 125, so 5. I put it over the last digit of the number I was actually putting 125 into. I multiply. I already have that math over here. So it's 625. Then I subtract. I need to borrow 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 0, 1. And then I bring down a 7. Okay? So I'm looking for 1,087. I had 750 with a 6, so I'm going to try, I don't know, I can try 9. So 125 times 9. 5, 4, 18, 19, 20, 22. 9, 10, 11. Oh, too big. Let's try 8. I know I said don't erase, but I'm going to run out of room here. So you don't erase on your board. I'm going to erase on my board. And please don't use that strategy, okay? I think leaving the math is really, really helpful. So 125 times 8. So 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 8, 9, 10, 1,000. Perfect. So I'm going to put the 8 over the next digit, remember, to make sure everything's lined up. I already have my multiplication. It's here. Easy subtraction, and I bring down my last number. 125. Let's try 7. Okay, let's try 7. So 5, 3, 14, 15, 16, 17, 7, 8, 75. Perfect. So remember that sometimes these multiplication problems you're doing off to the side, even though they might feel pointless because it wasn't what you needed, you can use it later in the problem. So I'm just telling you, really big strategy is to leave that. Okay, hopefully you got that right. Let's move to the next one. Different color. So number 3, 5796 divided by 25. Okay, so I'm putting a 25 into 57. And I know 25 times 2 is 50, so I'm going to go with that because obviously that 7 isn't going to get me enough to put 25 in. So then I'm going to bring down the 9. Now, if you do 25 times 3, just so you can see it, 15, 6, 75. So I'm going to use a 3, 75, bring in 4, bring down a 6. Now, if 25 times 2 is 50, I can only put it in here one time. 25, I subtract. Now, here is the deal. So you being in 6th grade still, they say, and I say they, like the book, says that the answer is 231 with the remainder of 21. Now, maybe it's me because I've taught 8th grade for so long, but I really feel like we need to move away from remainders. So you can put the remainder of 21, that would work, but I would really like to see you continue this problem out. And I'm going to show you how to do that, and then I'm not going to necessarily test you on it right now, but I want you to see it. Okay? So what we can do is we can give ourselves a point 0 and then put a point here and actually bring this 0 down and keep going with our math. Okay, so 25 goes into 100 4 times, so 208 times. So 25 times 8, 0, 4, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So 8, I have 200. Sorry, I'm running out of space here. So that gives me a 10, and then I add another 0, and I bring that down. And 25 goes into 100 4 times. See how I just keep lining this up? It's 100, remainder 0. So 231.84 to me is a much more solid answer than 231 remainder 21. Because what does that mean, a remainder of 21? Well, it means 0.84. Okay, so I really want to see on your papers you trying to do this. So just to recap, when you run out of numbers but you're not done, give yourself zeros. And the other thing you have to do is put a decimal here and a decimal above. Okay, and if you look, these two numbers, they match. They really do. Okay, it makes sense. So either way, I'm going to take your answer, but I really encourage you to have decimals. Okay, let's do the next one, or the last one that I gave you so far. All right, so our last one here is 3098 divided by 67. Okay, so I can't put 67 into 3 or 0, so I'm going to, or 30, I mean, so I'm going to go to 309. So let's try 67 times 5. 5 times 7, 5, 3, 33. I'm too big. So let's go back 1 and try 4. 8, 2, 24, 25, 26. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to do 4, and remember you put it over the last digit of the number you're working with. Bring in the math because you already did it over here, and then subtract, and bring down your next number. Now I would use this. So 5 was only 335. So let's try 7. too big. So let's come back to the 5. Okay, and then we subtract 8 or 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, so 83. Now we can say 45. Oh, I messed up. Something happened. Should not be 83. So 3, let me try that one more time. And I can tell you why I knew it could not be 83. So I'm putting 67 into 418. So 67 times 5 was 335. So let's try that one more time. So 335. So 8 minus 5 is 3. We're going to make this a 3. Okay, so as soon as you see that this number is bigger than that number, that means we didn't go big enough up here. So look what I missed. I did a 4, a 5, and a 7. I need to try 6. Okay, so this is kind of error analysis right now. And you may have this happen to you. As soon as you see that your subtraction resulted in a number bigger, then you didn't go big enough on your number up here. So all you have to do is erase this, come back to here. You don't have to redo the whole problem. Okay, and reevaluate. So we're going to try times 6 instead. So 2, 4, 36, 37. So 402, and see that was still underneath. So 6, 402, and then I subtract. Now I have a number smaller than this, so I know I did it correctly. So you could say 46, remainder 16, or we can keep going. So let's put a point, and a 0, and bring down a 0. So 67, I know I have to be smaller than 4 to get to the 160. So only for space purposes, I am going to erase. So 67, let's try 3. 21, 18, 19, 20, still too big. So let's try 67 times 2. 14, 12, 134, good. 134. And I can bring down the 0. Okay, so I would have had all these still if I wouldn't have erased. So 4, 240, and you can keep going until you end, or until you're like, I'm done, and you can round for the sake of this problem. I'm going to stop because I'm literally out of space, but you won't have that problem because you're on paper. Okay, so like I said, just a little recap. I'm good if you want to leave it as the remainder, but I would really love if you try to continue it out and get an actual decimal. Okay, because I think that that's where your math is moving, and that's really important that you can do this. So I'm going to cut this video. I'm going to show you one more strategy. We're going to do a few more practice problems, and then you will be done for today. Okay.